Football is the game. It is match weekend. That means it's time for another edition of the Friday Soccer Paycheck. America's first and only podcast covering the English Premier League, the English Championship, and where our best spots are to put our money. And we've had a good soccer season overall, I would say. Maybe a little dry, but I feel like we've had a couple more off weekends than we have had game weekends. Maybe we've had 2 full weekends of play between 2 breaks. So it's just that time of the year. You're going to get some breaks involved here. You got to have to negotiate through with all that. We've had more weekday soccer as well. That hasn't been quite as lucrative as it has been before. But we do see the trending of warm temperatures. That does help. Not that it's been super cold. I think that's the reason for us having success in what we've been doing this season is the fact that, you may argue with me since you live there, but from the looks of things and just paying attention week to week, it's not like we've been playing soccer games in 20-degree weather. I mean, it's definitely been a lot more mild of a winter than you would think over there in the UK. So we have a full slate of EPL and championship and a weird schedule too. Once we take a look at it, you'll see what I mean. And we have games scattered at all kinds of different times. We don't have anything early in the morning on Saturday, so there's no 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard game. The bulk of the games don't start until 11 a.m. Eastern. Even then, it's not the bulk of the games because they're scattered throughout the day Saturday. And then what we do have is a full Sunday morning of 10 a.m. games. Let's see, what do we have? 3 at a time there? Maybe. Yeah. So the most we have on for the Premier League, at least at any given time, is 3 games on Sunday morning. So for the most part, everything is somewhat standalone. And so, you just want to kind of pay attention to all of that and be aware of all that as well. You can actually sleep in if you don't want to watch any Premier League at 7:30 a.m. Eastern or 4:30 a.m. Pacific, right? I mean, you can actually sleep until 8 a.m. Pacific time and not miss a beat of the Premier League. We do have one championship game in action, and it does have some meaning as it is Wrexham as they host my boys Swansea. And Wrexham at home in the 26th minute has a 1-0 lead over Swansea. And we'll go over the standings for the championship when we get there. All right, so I got the injury table queued up. I got the regular table queued up. Let's just kind of take a quick look at a couple of the hot spots over there in the UK as far as weather is concerned. 51 degrees both days, Saturday and Sunday in London. So many teams play there. Let's take a look at the South Coast. No rain. So rain is not an issue at all. Southampton in the UK is a good spot to check as we have some teams down that way. And then we'll check, maybe the Manchester area or something like that. Let's see here. So we're free and clear for the weather in London for the most part. maybe a little bit wetter on Sunday. But even then, the bulk of the rain shouldn't come in until later in the afternoon. And it looks like comfortable temperatures, still somewhat mild. And where we see some low 50s next week, know that we're back to the kind of the higher 50s, lower 60s next week in the UK as well. And really no like long-standing rain threats, just some kind of isolated spots here and there. So from what I've seen, weather is not going to be any kind of red flag for us at all. Rain today in Manchester, but it's going to clear out tomorrow. A nice sunny day and cooler. Bit more rain perhaps on Sunday in the more northern part of the UK. All right, so we'll have to pay attention to a little bit of that, but for the most part, it just doesn't look like it's anything completely heavy. In fact, there is a little bit of ice coming down as we are in the upper 30s over there in the central part of the UK. Wrexham right now, 40 degrees in the clear for no rain if you're trying to jump in on the live action there. All right, so weather we will not take as a threat. Let's take a look at the Premier League table. And Arsenal, they're pulling away. I mean, Manchester City is not taking an advantage. Last time out, they drew against Nottingham Forest. So they have actually fallen back behind Arsenal a little bit more for the top spot. Arsenal with 67 points. Excuse me, Man City now with 60. Man United 51. Aston Villa 51, although they've lost 2 in a row now and are not in good form at all. And Chelsea with 48 points. And even Chelsea kind of an average form for them. 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. After that, we have Liverpool in 6. They are in decent form, 3-2 in their last 5 as far as wins and losses are concerned. Everyone's somewhat inconsistent, really. Everyone, if you go up and down this table, Brentford just with 2 wins in their last 5, they're in 7th. Everton, they've been kind of the one, excuse me, grinded out, nice surprise type of team here, having a good season. Usually they were kind of flirting with relegation, but they have 43 points overall and in 8th spot. They have 3 wins in their last 5. Bournemouth have been the draw masters, 4 draws in their last 5 with a win. Now they've been unbeaten in 9 as well. So good for Bournemouth. Let's take a note as well that Arsenal has played 1 extra game as we have basically, 8 games left to play for Arsenal, 9 games left for Man City. So really Man City with a game in hand could be as much or as little as 4 points back from Arsenal with that extra game to play for them. Wolverhampton is the only other team with 30 games played. We'll talk about them in a minute as they are at the bottom in the relegation zone. Fulham, they were playing nice, but now they've regressed a little bit. 3 losses in their last 5. Sunderland, a win their last time out, but they were on somewhat of a cold spell themselves. And 11th, Newcastle has been inconsistent. 39 points for them. 3 losses for them in their last 5. Crystal Palace, 3-2 for them in their last 5. So they're one of the better teams, Crystal Palace, here as of late. What you don't see a lot of is draws for the most part. Either wins or losses, and the draws are way outnumbered by both of those. Brighton, they've lost 3 of their last 5. Leeds, they've lost 2 in a row. How about Tottenham? They've been losing forever. I've lost count of their streak, but I have it at 5 right in front of me at least. I think it goes beyond that. They've been completely banged up and injured, and they still are. So they are completely on the fade train. We'll talk more about them. And, relegation danger for Tottenham as well. At 29 points, they are safe, but 28 is the cut line. Nottingham Forest, by virtue of goal differential, is safe with 28. They've lost 3 of their last 5, but again, they drew out with Manchester United or Manchester City. And then West Ham is right there at 28th as well. West Ham's been trying to climb out of the relegation zone since day 1 of the EPL season. They've had a horrible time of it until lately. They did win their last time out. They got thumped by Liverpool the weekend before that, but a couple of draws and a win. And if they can just kind of keep that momentum going, they should find themselves out of the relegation zone. Burnley have lost 2 in a row. And Wolverhampton, they've won 2 in a row. 16 points for Wolverhampton, 19 for Burnley, and the Mendoza line is 28. So a lot of work to do for Burnley and Wolverhampton with just 8 or 9 games left to be played, respectively. The teams, again, that are in good form, I mean, you got to give it to Arsenal, 3 in a row for them. But I mean, that's not any kind of breaking news, right? Man City, a draw and 4 wins for them in the Premier League. After that, I mean, it is Crystal Palace a little bit, 3 wins out of 5. Everton, 3 wins out of 5. Liverpool, 3 wins out of 5. Man United, 3 wins out of 5. And after that, completely slim pickings. The teams that have a lot of L's in their last 5, that would be Tottenham. Nottingham Forest is 3. They drawn out twice. Burnley has 3. Brighton has 3. Newcastle 3. Sunderland 3. Fulham 3. So a lot of teams in bad form at the moment. All right, so what do we have for games? And we will update this Wrexham score for you. First half, 35th minute. Wrexham 1, Swansea 0. See, we have plenty of viewers. Guys, let us know where you're tuning in from and listening. You can comment on the YouTube stream, or you can comment on the Facebook social media as well. But happy to have you guys aboard here on the Friday Soccer Paycheck. Let's get some bets. Let's see. What do we like in the Premier League? Are we going to be full on with the Premier League, or are we going to find our better action in the Championship this weekend? Let's see. First game in the EPL. We have 2 games at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That starts the weekend. Burnley plus 320 host Bournemouth minus 125. Again, Bournemouth has been the draw masters. They have not lost, and they only have the 1 win. Burnley, meanwhile, is kind of on the fade train here, and especially with the injuries. And maybe we need to take a look at the injuries just real quick, because I noticed Burnley has a ton of them. They got 9 players, right? So keep this in mind as we go through. Burnley is a very banged up team right now. Tottenham is devastated with injuries still. Sunderland, not well at all. Nottingham Forest, they have plenty of injuries. Liverpool, somewhat banged up. Brentford, injury riddled. Those are your worst. Everyone else, for the most part, somewhat unscathed. We're missing Odegaard and maybe Trossard for Arsenal. I'd be aware of that a little bit. Let's see. We don't have Erling Haaland on the injury report. I was wondering if we would see him for Manchester City, but just 3 injuries for them with Gravdiol, Kovacic, and Rico Lewis, the 3 players there. Let's see. Anyone key for West Ham? Yes, my man Somerville out. So he's day-to-day. They're going to miss him on the field. I mean, he was a complete difference maker for him in the lineup. So beware on West Ham at the moment with Asensio Somerville injured for them. Let's see, Newcastle. Who do we have here? Fabian Schär, but we can live without him. Liverpool. Let's take a look at them. Connor Bradley, Alexander Isak continues to be injured for them. Jack Grealish for Everton, not available either. And Chelsea, 5 injuries for Chelsea. Let's see what we have here. Modric suspended. All right, anti-doping violations. So that's from last summer, right? Yep. No return date for him as of yet either. All right, but that's on the injury report. Bournemouth, how about them? Since we're looking at that game right now, they relatively decent for them. Nothing to be quite down about for Bournemouth. Okay, so I think this is simple. This is just a fate of Burnley. They're going to be relegated. And Bournemouth has been a good team. I think if you want to take Bournemouth over 1.5 team goals, that's probably the safest thing. They can score, right? Let's take a look at Bournemouth on their goals. They've scored 44, and they've given up 46. So that's somewhat above average, I would say, in both categories. Burnley has given up 58 goals, though, and have only scored 32. So I think over 1.5 goals for Bournemouth is a safe play for them in this game at Burnley. And they are at minus 136. So I'll go ahead and put that on one of my better plays for the EPL. Brighton and Sunderland. Sunderland plus 250, Brighton plus 115, and the draw is at plus 230. Let's see. Sunderland, somewhat rotten form, getting better, right? And then Brighton has been completely inconsistent here. So Brighton 3 losses in their last 5. Sunderland 3 losses in their last 5, but they did win their last time out. And both of these teams not too far apart in the table. Sunderland 3 points ahead of Brighton. I think this is going to be a pass. I mean, this could be a 1-1 game. I'm not expecting any kind of super goal output of any sorts here. So a pass on this game. I think Chelsea and Newcastle can be an over game. And this is a 1:30 p.m. start. So an odd time here. Minus 120 for Chelsea, the home team, plus 280 for Newcastle. Both of these teams should be able to score. I would expect Chelsea to be able to score maybe one more. So, 2-1 sounds fair. If this got to be to be a 2 or 3-2 game, I could see that as well. If you want to get exotic and go over 4.5 goals, which is only plus 285. So they're saying that's not that unlikely to happen. Over 3.5 goals is plus 120. Over 2.5 goals is at minus 215. And Newcastle could win this game too. It's not like although they've been playing bad and not their best, at plus 280 is a good number for Newcastle, who, Chelsea is the better team, but are they that much better? I mean, super crazy better? I don't think so. So I would not lay the minus 120 with Chelsea here. I could see the draw at plus 310. That is a good number for that. And again, if you're going to play draws, people, let me give you a lesson here. Go to correct score. Let's see. Correct score. Let me find it. Usually is on the popular page. Yep. Couple down. And instead of paying plus 310 for a draw, let's start at 0-0 and 1-1. We get 22-1 odds for 0-0. We get 8-1 odds at 1-1. And quite frankly, this could be a 0-0 game because both defenses could be up to the task here. And it could be a 2-2 game. It could be a 3-3 game. So start off with 0-0 and 1-1. And we start adding goals onto the sheet here to start buying up ahead of time. Get 3 to 3 while there's a nice big number attached to it. In fact, if you just wanted to play all 4 of these 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and hope you get a 0, 0 or 3 to 3, then you're going to get a big payout. The draw is plus 310. But again, if you were to play all 4 of these correct score combinations, 22 to 1 at 0, 0, 8 to 1 at 1, 1, 11 to 1 at 2, 2, and 33 to 1 at 3, 3. Let's just say we won the 1 to 1 score at 8 plus 800, right? So we lose the other 3. And if we have $10 on each, we're going to lose $30, but we're going to win 80, which means we profit 50, which means we now took our draw number from plus 310 to plus 500. And that's just the minimum. I mean, what if it's 3 to 3? I mean, we're going to end up getting, $300 back after we pay off our losing bets. And we're getting paid 30 to 1 on the draw. So there's a little bit of a trick to the trade when it comes to the draw, and you're getting paid nicely in this Chelsea game to do that. I think the over is the best play. And if I'll stick it at a conservative number of just over 2.5 at minus 215. So let's put that on our best bet. And we'll have some sort of a profit boost right now as well, which is going to help out in terms of these minus numbers. Arsenal is playing Everton. Now, Everton has been scrappy. They really have been. And Arsenal is not exactly a team that blows you out of the water. And if you don't have Trossard and you don't have the Odegaard, they still have a lot of good talent. But are they going to really thump Everton? I would not lay a goal and a half or 2.5 goals here against Everton. This very well could be an under type of game. Again, Everton likes to grind you out. So I'll pass on this. And again, you're getting a good number on the draw. If you think Everton can be that sneaky here, I doubt it because it is Arsenal at home and they are trying to really put the foot to the gas pedal probably to get this Premier League decided sooner than later. And you should be able to beat Everton. But the soccer gods, you never know. Everton can pull all kinds of stuff out of their rear end when they need to. They have done so in the past. So I would lean under, but no play officially on that. 4 p.m. Eastern. Look at this. So this is like a 9 o'clock game, 8 o'clock game over there. Manchester City is at West Hampton. Minus 145 for Man City. West Hampton is at plus, or West Ham is at plus 360. There is no West Hampton, just West Ham. The draw is at plus 310. I would like West Ham a lot better if we had no Somerville, or if we had Somerville. The fact that we don't have him is a little scary. Man City, again, it's not like they're blowing teams out of the water either. But if there is a team that does or has been giving up goals in spurts, West Ham has given up plenty of them over the course of the season, 54. And we've scored 59 for Man City. So let's just take Man City over 1.5 goals here. I think they should be able to get at least 2 goals here at West Ham, right? That is at minus 188. If we add that to our ticket now, over Bournemouth 1.5, over Man City 1.5, and over Chelsea Newcastle 2.5. We're only getting a meager plus 289, but they feel like layups at this point without having to take too much of a risk. All right, so that wraps up the Saturday slate. Best bets for Saturday: Man City over 1.5. Chelsea, Newcastle to be over their 2.5, and then we'll lean with Bournemouth over 1.5 as well. Sunday morning, a trio of games, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Nottingham Forest host Fulham. Nottingham is plus 130. The draw is at plus 240, and Fulham is plus 210 at a comeback. I'd be interested maybe in Fulham because I've been playing them all season long, but they have not been performing well lately. And I think I just kind of need to pass on this. The draw may be the best play again here. In fact, this could be a heavily drawed weekend. And if you're going to parlay some draws together, obviously it's harder to parlay the combination of scores, right? So you're kind of stuck having to do the draws. But you know what? I would do 1-1 and 0-0 is what I would do. If you're going to do some correct scores and round robin them and mix and match that way, you're only going to have to put down pennies on the dollar on some of these parlays with the correct scores because the odds are paying out so big. So if you want to do 0-0, 1-1 and try to hit 3 games, you should get a nice payout. I mean, you could literally put 25 cents on each leg, and it's going to tally up to be a smaller bet as it is with 25 cents a leg. Maybe we should try to experiment with that in a minute. In fact, that's what we'll do. We'll play around with that in a second. So we'll come back to that. Fulham and Nottingham, knowing that could be a draw. I think the same thing with Man United and Aston Villa. I mean, this is a hard game. Villa's not in their best form, but Man City, as good as they've been playing, Aston Villa is still a really good team. Aston Villa is plus 360. That's actually kind of a good price. But again, you're getting a good number on the draw at plus 320. So it's hard to take Man U as a favorite here to me. It's tempting to take Villa, and the draw is tempting as well. But I think I would lean away. Best play on the board, I'm just not really sure. Again, this could be a 1-1 type of game. Crystal Palace host Leeds in that 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern slot. Crystal Palace plus 145. Leeds is at 2-1 odds, plus 220 for a draw. Again, I mean, this has kind of a draw type of deal written all over it, and we'll just kind of throw this on our list of 0-0, 1-1. The play of the weekend is going to be Liverpool, as they should thump Tottenham. Now, how much do they want to win by is the question, and maybe Tottenham puts up some sort of a fight here. They have been playing somewhat scrappy in their games that they've been losing. But Liverpool should be the declarative favorite here. In fact, we'll just take Liverpool on the money line minus 360. We'll add them to our ticket, our ticket of the obvious, I should say. And this should be the last play on that with the Brentford and Wolves playing Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, a 4 p.m. game now on the East Coast on Monday, which we will have no play on Brentford and the Wolves. Wolves are fighting for their playoff lives. Brentford's a decent team, but I can't trust Brentford to beat the Wolves right now. It's hard to trust anyone in the EPL at the moment. All right, so best plays straight up for me, and this pays plus 397. Let's take Liverpool minus 360. Let's take Man City over 1.5 team goals at minus 188. Let's take Newcastle and Chelsea over 2.5 goals. And let's take Bournemouth over 1.5 team goals. Best plays in the EPL. I don't have any goal scorers per se here, especially since we don't have my man Somerville involved. Not that we would take him anyway, because going against Man City, you're liable to not really get the ball too much as it is. But let's try this out here. I'm going to plug in a bunch of numbers here. I'm going to plug in 0-0 and 1-1 for all these games. Chelsea, Newcastle, Fulham and Nottingham, 0-0 is 11-1. 1-1 is plus 550. We'll do Aston Villa and Man United. 16-1 at 0-0. 7-1 at 1-1. And then let's plug in Crystal Palace and Leeds. All these games sound like they could be draws. And if you're out there listening, you probably agree with me if you know anything about this league. Now let's round robin all these guys together. And what do we have? We have 24 different 2-game parlays. We have 32 different 3-game parlays. And we have 16 different 4-game parlays. So let's put 25 cents into each leg. So 25 cents for the 2s, 25 cents for the 3s, and 25 cents for the 4s. And basically, if you end up getting, let's see, now if we have 3 draws and amongst these 4 games, and it's either 0-0 or 1-1, then we're going to have, you're going to get yourself a little bit over $100. Let's see, the total amount of this bet is $18. Okay. So this is an $18 investment. If you do 25 cents on the 2-game parlays, 25 cents on the 3-game parlays, 25 cents on the 4-game parlays of the round robin, correct scores 0-0 and 1-1 in the Chelsea, Nottingham, Man United, Crystal Palace game. So worst case scenario, you lose your $30, right? Okay. We can win, basically win our money back if we get any 2. Let's not even play the 2s. That's no fun. We don't even win our money back. So now we're cutting down on the cost of this bet if we eliminate the 2-game parlays. But we'll get a little bit over $100 if any of these 3 combinations hit. And then somehow if we get 4 draws and they're all either 0-0 or 1-1, then we're going to, let's see, pretty good, right? 15 grand, all $30. Now it could be up to 15 grand. I mean, that's if they're all 0-0. You got to figure there's going to be some 1-1s mixed in and maybe you get a 0-0. But, maybe we get $8,000 if we get the 4 draws. And you just hope they don't go to 2-2. Which nothing screams goals this week here in the Premier League. I've seen better offerings. And everyone's been in bad form. No one seems to be able to consistently win. So I think the thing to do is just kind of play it safe. Again, the safe bet for me, over 2.5 Chelsea goals, over 1.5 team goals for both Man City and for Bournemouth. And we'll take Liverpool straight on the heavy money line. And then if you want to play around with some draws on the round robin combos, 0-0, 1-1, plug them in. We played Crystal Palace, Man United, Nottingham, and Chelsea. Let's see, $8 and $4. It's a $12 bet now, and we could win as much as $15,000. Actually, $16,459 if we get all 0-0s in those games. But we'll settle for 1-2 once. All right, let's get off to Premier League. Let's go to the championship and take a look at their table. Honestly, if you're going to miss soccer, this sounds like a good weekend to miss here in the EPL, considering the games aren't even bulked together, really. All right, again, 1 game in progress. Wrexham 1-0 over Swansea. Coventry is your top team. They're on fire. They don't lose. 77 points for them. Middlesbrough has leveled off a little bit. Just 2 wins in their last 5, a couple of draws, 69 points for them. And the second spot gets automatic promotion to the Premier League, along with the first spot. So teams 3 through 6 play in the playoff to get the third Premier League promotion spot. Right now, those teams would be Millwall with 30. Let's see, Millwall with 68 points. And we have about 10 games to play in the championship. 11 for some teams, 12 for others. Millwall is 68 points. They're the number 3 spot, and they're just one spot behind Middlesbrough, that guaranteed line. They could catch them. Millwall's been having a fantastic season. Ipswich, 65 points for them. 2 draws their last time out after winning a bunch of games in a row. Hull, they've lost a couple of games now. They're in the 5th spot with 63 points. And Wrexham has 60 points in the number 6 spot. They won 4 out of 5. Teams not able to take advantage and climb into this top 4. Although Southampton is trying to close in themselves. They're 6 games out of this playoff. Southampton, so they'd be in your 7th spot. Derby is tied with them. Although Derby, once hot, now cooled down, they have now lost 3 out of 5. Watford's been all over the board. Birmingham has lost 3 out of 5. They have 52 points, along with Watford and Swansea. Swansea's been able to score. That's the one thing about them. Bristol, 50 points. They've lost 4 out of 5. Sheffield United, they're falling down. 2-2-1 for them. Preston, they've lost 4 out of 5. Norwich has been hot. They've won 4 out of 5. Norwich was down in the relegation zone. They're all the way up to the 15th spot now. So they've done good for themselves. They have 48 points. Probably too far away to catch up for the playoffs, but you never know. Keep winning, and then you're going to get your 3 points if you keep winning. 2 losses for Stoke in their last 5. Charlton's only lost once. Interesting. Queen's Park Rangers have lost 4 in a row. Portsmouth have lost 3 of 4. QPR has 47. Portsmouth with 40. Not that safe at 40. You're only 2 points ahead of relegation at this point. Blackburn is 39 points. They've lost 3 of 5. Leicester, 38. They've drawn a bunch and they've won. So where we were crapping on Leicester, they've kind of been better. They have not been a pushover. Oxford has won 3 in a row. How about that for Oxford? As they have 38 points trying to fight for their lives out of relegation. West Brom, 37 points for them. They're trying to fight out of relegation. They have 2 losses and 3 draws. They've had a couple of chances to win, only to have those games stolen into a draw. And Sheffield Wednesday with a draw their last time out after losing 1 million games in a row. They've only won 1 game all year. -6 on your point differential. -51 on their goal differential. Just 23 goals scored for Sheffield Wednesday. They've given up 74. They are your worst team, and on to relegation. Back to League One you go, Sheffield Wednesday. All right. So again, just a lot of L's stacking up here lately, and just inconsistency. So let's see what the old schedule says here for the lines. This is me, again, fresh, just like the EPL. And every week, guys, I want to take a fresh look at all of this all at once and try to soak it in and see what we can come up with. We have 1, 2, 3 games at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Oxford and Charlton, 2 teams closer to the bottom of the table. No play there. Want nothing to do with it. Middlesbrough, you think it's a get-right game with Bristol. It has to be. Middlesbrough is -260, plus 600 for Bristol, plus 360 on the draw. I think you take, if you're going to look for teams to score over 1.5 goals, then I think you got to throw Middlesbrough on there just for being the home team alone. -210 for them. Let me get this bet slip cleared so we can add this on there. All right. Although, I don't feel the best about it. Coventry and Southampton. Now, Southampton has been frisky. So I think this is a good game to go over 2.5 goals. Because I think they can both score here. And, Southampton could easily win 2-1, right? So over 2.5 is minus 158 for Coventry and Southampton. And Coventry could get that by themselves, really, if they wanted to. They beat Preston, I think 3-0, 4-0 during the week. So we'll take over Middlesbrough 1.5. We'll take Coventry, Southampton over 2.5. Birmingham and Sheffield United, I think, is a pass. That sounds like a 1-1 game for me. West Brom and the Hull. Hull's been nice. They scored 2 goals more often than not. I'd rather have them at home here. I don't know if I want to jump on them on the road against West Brom, who seems to be playing just a hair better. But I guess we will, because Hull is just an over team by nature. And we're getting plus 196. So, yeah, let's throw them on a ticket. We'll take a chance with Hull plus 196 to score 2 goals. Watford and Stoke, I think, is a pass overall. Norwich and Preston. Norwich is the home team, minus 170. They are the favorite. They've been scoring. Preston gives up a ton of goals lately. So, yes, let's take Norwich at minus 148 over 1.5. Leicester and QPR. QPR has been bad. And Leicester, something in their locker room with the players, maybe rallying amongst each other. I think Leicester wins this game. They've been so bad and have so much trouble behind the scenes. I don't think I'll bet it. But over 1.5 goals for Leicester kind of makes sense here against QPR, a team that has been terrible. We're getting plus 104 for Leicester. Let's just take it. We'll jump on the train and try our best with it. Sheffield Wednesday against Ipswich. Ipswich has kind of run cold on us a little bit. And do we want to take them against Wednesday? I mean, it is a automatic fade every time. Sheffield Wednesday, minus 310 to score 2 goals for Ipswich against Sheffield Wednesday. Let's just pass. I don't want to get a bad taste in my mouth with that. Millwall at home against Blackburn. Millwall, I think this is a good chance for Millwall here. So we'll take them over 1.5 goals. I think they win this game as well. They are tough nut to crack. I watched them play the game against Hull last Saturday. Very entertaining game. And probably should have lost Millwall, but they pulled out the victory. We'll think they're good enough for 1.5 goals against Blackburn. Portsmouth and Derby is a Monday 4:00 game. I think we'll pass on that. And then a good game Wednesday, 3:45. This should be probably a makeup game because of a soggy pitch or something. But Southampton will host Norwich on Wednesday. No play on the Monday 4:00. If I'm watching Portsmouth and Derby, I need to find something else better to do with my life. Or the Wolves game, right? All right, so 6 picks in the championship. These teams over 1.5 team goals. Middlesbrough, Hull, Norwich, Leicester, and the Millwall. If you want to drop Hull, I'm not going to blame you because they're an away side, and we'll just kind of be sticking with the home teams. The home teams always seem to have better odds at scoring too. But we'll take a chance here. And Coventry, Southampton over 2.5. Let's see. $10 wins us $473. That's a nice payday. If you got $100, you want to take a shot here, $4,700 is your payout. Again, these 6 picks. Middlesbrough, Middlesbrough, Hull, Norwich, Leicester, Millwall, all over 1.5 team goals, and the Coventry, Southampton over 2.5. In the EPL, Man City and Bournemouth over 1.5 goals, Liverpool on the heavy money line, and we'll take Chelsea over 2.5 goals with Newcastle. If you want take the two overs, Coventry, Southampton, Chelsea, and Newcastle. Parlay them over 3.5 and 4.5 together. Over 3.5 is probably a nice payout. You probably put $100 down and win 600 or 700. And then if you wanted to go to over 4.5, then you're going to get quite the payday, I think, as well. I know, what is it, plus 285 for in the Chelsea game. We looked at that. Coventry and Southampton could get the 4.5 goals. Plus 410. So you're parlaying a plus 410 and plus 285. Basically, $100 would win you $1,600 or something like that. If both of those games get to 5 goals. All right, guys. I don't know what else I got for you. Hello, Jersey Mammy 123. Thank you for tuning in. I'm assuming you're in Jersey. All right, guys. Thank you very much. This is the Friday Soccer Paycheck. I am Stephen Murray. As always, it is fun to do this program. We are on the Deep End Broadcasting Network. Click and subscribe to our YouTube, Deep End Broadcasting. Good luck in your soccer. Have a great weekend. Wow.